Okay, everybody, it is the festive season and more persons are out in public, we're shopping, we're doing our business. However, while you're out there on the job, there are some folks who are on the job too, and the criminals are looking to prey on the vulnerable folks. So we've brought in Deputy Superintendent of Police, Delia Garrett, to join us now to tell us how we can be safe and vigilant this season. Good morning to you, DSP. Good to have you.
Good morning, thank you.
Miss Say, tell me what's going on out there.
Well, we have increased our presence in town centres and most public areas. JCF has now scaled back on some of the administrative duties and allowing more members to be on the road. So we're just encouraging persons, as you go about shopping, I know a little more money is in circulation now, treat it with care.
And anecdotally, do you see numbers going up or down in terms of theft?
We have been having some positive results. Take, for example, St. Elizabeth, which is one of the parishes that we were having some issues with early this year around robbery. They have seen a significant decline. So the presence is making a difference. We're engaging our partners. We're engaging community members about how to target hard and how to make themselves safer and how just to take the necessary precaution both at home and when you're out.
Gotcha.
So when we're out, because we're already seeing the plazas full, and recently the parish councils, municipality corporations, they have allowed vending to take place on the street side. What are some of the things that people can do to assist the police during this period?
And thanks for that opportunity. It's always a partnership. So we want the public to help us to keep them safe. And we want them to stick to the safe practices. So you're out in the public. Don't be distracted by the phone. That's a big one. Be vigilant. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't put in the earbuds and then you're out there and you don't know nothing that is happening around you. Try refrain from carrying large sums of cash.
Hold on, DSP. Don't move from the first one there.
About the phone?
Yes. Because I wanted to ask you what's the most fundamental mistake we make? Is that the number one mistake?
I think so, because a lot of times, even you find persons are victims of crime and they can't describe what happened because they were totally distracted, whether on the phone, sending a text, so that situation awareness is not there. The surrounding, no scan is done. They don't know if they're being followed. Someone see them as an easy target as well because they're totally distracted by the phone. So we ask that when you go into the public, whilst you're out shopping.
Idea, though.
Yeah.
This is just in Alpha Tree or in any town center is just like, you may as well just wear a note and say, hi, can you come and rob me? The man you guys held on Reddy's Road that day had 4 or 5 phones on it.
So the phone itself becomes an attraction to be theft. And you're also, your awareness, you're not as vigilant, you're not as aware. So we ask that person maintain that heightened level of vigilance because that in itself is a deterrent. Someone see you look businesslike and scanning your surroundings, they'll think twice because robbers often don't want any attention to be drawn to them. So they look for easy prey. Another thing is that persons will have large stocks of cash and they will go to complete a transaction and take out all that money. So right away you're exposing yourself that I am walking around with all this cash. We ask you not to do that. If any at all possible, do the electronic. Use the cards. But if you have to use cash, how about putting it in small sums to kind of gauging what your transaction would be and having them strategically placed where you can remove what you want without overexposing yourself. Another thing is the jewelry. You're going into a crowded area, you know it's the season, you know robbers will be looking, and petty theft, they will be looking for opportunities. Do not embellish yourself. So make it minimal and it will enhance your safety.
Someone said to me recently that this is pickpocket season. How can you avoid, because they're very sleek in terms of their approach, how can you not catch a pickpocket person, but what can you do to avoid being pickpocketed, so to
All right,
speak?
so the first thing is that level of awareness, being vigilant, being aware. But you have some other things, because not all pickpockets will come and be aggressive. You will have persons who will engage you in conversations and just trying to sway you from your normal sense of awareness. So you have to be mindful of that. Not saying that everybody who come, you're going to blow them off, but try not to be getting into too much conversation with strangers. You know some of the areas that are known for it. If you are downtown, you know the mix. So the level of the heightened sense of awareness should be there. Also, try to get a sense of where it is you want to go. You know, just don't venture off into areas that you're not familiar with, or taking the time out to kind of getting to know that surrounding. We see that the sun sets way earlier now, and so dusk come. Earlier. Try to use well-lit area. If you're parking, park somewhere where the lighting is good. If you're going to an ATM, look for one that is in an area that is heavy traffic and is well-lit. So your safety, you know, is enhanced in those settings. When you're using your cards, always have it inside. Don't go to a store and have someone tell you that, oh, I need to run the card, but I have to go to the back office. Any transaction being used with your cards, debit or credit, should be done in your view at all times.
And also, folks who go to bank machines need to be aware when they're inside, the machine look funny, and when you're outside, when you come out with your money, right?
That is right. On the approach, just scan. It's always good to scan just to see if there's anyone loitering when you're going, locked behind you. Just do your quick check. Gently tug on where you push your card, the keypad, still cover your keypads because sometimes, you know, the cameras that they may say it's there, so it's encouraged to cover your key. Your receipt, if you're going to discard it, you may want to tear it up before throwing it or take it with you. But just maintain that level of vigilance. Online shopping is another big thing. And we see where small businesses too are using it, you know, the Insta. Take the time out to do your due diligence. Before you complete the transaction, feel comfortable. A lot of people are very familiar with what an authentic online transaction is. If you see something that you're not comfortable with, it's a little out of the norm, do your due diligence. And sometimes your instinct is telling you something is off. Follow it.
Listen to your gut. Yeah. We're talking about folks who like go out on the road. I'm reading here where you talk to people who are heading home. Vary your route. Don't use the same route all the time. But also, if you are shopping at home and you buy these wonderful new appliances, as folks are wanting to do at Christmas, you get a bigger TV or you put it box.
The box, cut it down and put it in the garbage bag. Another thing you see persons, they get barrel and boxes from overseas and all your personal information is still there. How about getting a little paint or something? The box, cut them down and stock them in garbage bags and dispose of them. The barrels, paint them out. Do not put your information out there, allowing everyone to know. We have had a pretty wet season, and the shrubs in a lot of areas now are overgrown. So in part of your preparation for Christmas, you may want to trim down those shrubs, and not only for the beauty of it, but for your safety. Sure. You're reducing hiding places for anyone who may want to use that as a cover to attack. As you say, varying your route when you're going on, but also to just petrol up that if you have to take another route, you have sufficient petrol to take you to and from home safely. So these are some of the things that you want to put in your safety plan. We're still in the middle of a pandemic and we're navigating, so the social distancing and just, you know, you're out, and this Christmas it's a little more active than last. So just to walk with your sanitizer, wearing your mask, taking all the necessary precaution around your safety, health safety that is.
What about businesses like bars and small shops? What can they do to protect themselves from thieves?
All right, so a lot of them would be in a police district, and most time you do have like a business watch where the police give support. So they need not to have all the money in one till. Sometimes, you know, the day sale is kept at the same place, and every time they go to make change, if someone is in the shop, they can easily see. So you want to be able to have your cash separated in a way that you don't expose yourself. Also, be aware of suspicious looking people. Most time community people tend to know each other and you will know them. Go back to the old body days where just strike a conversation to try to see if you're seeing a stranger. Are you related to someone here? If you're in that community setting. Outside of that, still keep your doors locked, you know. You're not at the counter and the back door to your business is open. No, take the necessary precaution. Invest in some security apparatus where you can. And if you're at a facility where you probably can get a dog or something to just alert you as to what is taking place in the other areas that you are not, you know, seeing, immediately, that too can help. And that goes for farmers as well.
It's interesting that you speak about the technology. I know that the JCF depends a lot on Jamaica Eye, for example. Tell us about how that has helped in recent times and how it will help in the town centers at this time of the year.
All right, so Jamaica Eye, we have camera in most of our major towns and cities. So it will help us with crowd issues. So we can, that eye in the sky can help the police on the ground to say, okay, there's a gathering here, you need to check out. But not only that, suspicious activities, you can monitor that. And if someone is involved in robbery or stuff and they are using motor vehicle, this is a significant help in terms of tracking them and sending the resources to intercept them at the right place. The cameras also allow us to analyze what is happening and to deploy accordingly, because you might be looking at town and say, okay, on a Sunday afternoon it's not so heavy, so we can have this deployment. However, this is what we're seeing on a Thursday afternoon. So it helps for that strategic deployment as to what is necessary to, in terms of boots on the ground numbers, in keeping the township safe.
DSP, let's talk about the folks who are winding down and heading to news, but who have shopped and you're heading back to those of us who have vehicles, right? Who become completely unaware when we're going back to our vehicles, especially if you have children with you and you become a target because you're loading them in. What ought we to know when we're on the road, one, vis-a-vis with regard to keeping the doors locked, windows up, but especially in the plazas, when you're at the supermarket, when you're going to the car, what ought you to know when you're
quickly scan your area. Look if there's anyone that is in approaching your vehicle. If you see someone who is hanging around, kind of loitering, not going to a vehicle, but just there. So if you see that, you may want to turn back and go ask the security or someone to accompany you to your vehicle. When you're taking your goods to your vehicle, put them in the trunk and close the vehicle. Do not leave things on display on your back seat. That is never recommended. In driving through the town, keep your windows up as much as possible and your doors locked. It is very important. But not only that, when you get home, a lot of people tend to drop their level of alertness and awareness. But this is when you should be most alert. Scan your home, see if there is anything. Was there anyone following me? Is there anything off? Is a dog barking? What is it? Do you have sensor light? Are the lights on? So until you're safely inside your house, maintain that heightened level of vigilance and alertness. I can't overemphasize.
And quickness.
Yes.
Those are people who come out of the store and sit down in the car with the door open for 3 minutes and fix the key. Don't do it. You are making yourself pray.
Yes, and having your address on that key ring, those things are no. Don't advertise you.
We could sit and talk about this for half an hour more, but we have to go to news.
But you know what? I'm happy about the technology. That is going to be a big thing this year and going forward. Deputy Superintendent of Police Dahlia Garrick, thank you so much for joining us. Still to come, NCB SME Christmas. News in 5 is next.